So it's gotta be like something like, in this world of social media fads and decline of reality TV, some families have taken it into their hands to create family content that revolves usually around something akin to cruel and unusual torture towards a child or family member in order to take advantage of them to gain social media fame, such as making fake making videos faking your kid being sick, or making your kids look like angels by treating them like shit. There are several examples of families who have been caught doing this. In this world of people crying wolf, as well, under the circumstances of not being in trouble, but are. I don't think mansplaining is right either, and I think Atak was just commenting on and the statement you said because it wasn't directed towards anyone. Yeah, and I'm the streamer. I'm gonna read your message. Message me if you play PoE later. Bye, guys. Bye, Smokey! Smokey's a fucking loser, but I love him. What I would call professional victims who are always looking for trouble. Something to call the manager over. Finding the line between the two and punishing those who deserve it to reduce the amount it happens. If you punish people doing it severely enough, it will stop. What do you think the world will look like in 20 to 30 years with these kind of people being almost directed towards this behavior because of its social media attraction? Do you think it will stabilize and laws will be made to counteract it, or it will just be a multi-billion-dollar economy? I was just making sure I skipped the podcast. Why, Muffin? You don't want to hear Callie and me going on about ourselves? And how great we are? And how amazing we are? And how everyone else sucks? And, I mean, what?
So the TTS would work.
Oh, because I turned the TTS off because that was the reason I didn't want to do the podcast live, was so people couldn't interrupt and I wouldn't have to worry about reading chat or like having a new person come in and follow or something like that. I just wanted to do the podcast as its own individual thing, but Callie was all weird about it. But that's okay. We had a fucking blast. We did a good job. Glad Smokey wasn't there. I mean, I would have just turned the chat overlay off and ignored chat. I turned the overlay off for the follows and everything. I turned TTS off. I turned off anything that would interrupt it except the chimes in chat. So there's gonna be those stupid fucking chimes in the background from fucking chat because I don't know how to get rid of those. So I'll try to find points where I can edit those out. But some of them happen mid-sentence and it's like, well, shit. There's nothing I can do about it. Smokey probably also would have jumped into the chat and started like being like blah 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 blah. So it is what it is. Nobel scientist to Prince. That sounds unfun. Depends on your influence. Could you repatent everything now that you're the prince, but you're a Nobel scientist, so you clearly have ideas and you know shit? And usually that means you came up with or invented something that changed the world. That's usually what a Nobel Prize is saved for, if you will. Your influence is drugs into 12-year-olds. Wait, what, Muffin? Drugs onto 18-year-olds. Or 12-year-olds, sorry. Nobel scientist from Earth to Prince, if not Earth country. Of not Earth country. So yeah, you can invert a lot of things, but it's all politics and economics. If you're influencing children to do drugs. Well, anyone who's 12 shouldn't be on Twitch, first of all, because the age is 13. And I'm not advocating for anyone to smoke weed. I am, in fact, advocating that people don't smoke weed. By the way, Smokey found my double, guys. This is me in another life. It's fucking perfect. I don't know how he found this. If this is a picture of what Smokey actually looks like, I'm gonna shit my pants. That would be the fucking funniest thing. That's actually what Smokey looks like. That fucking deep-ass black voice. It's if your forehead was ×2. What do you mean? I mean, I have a pretty bad, like, it's receding. I got a pretty, you know, we got a forehead there, guys. Anyone who's doing any drug is, by their very being, influencing them to do drugs. Yeah, but what I'm saying, Sean, is no one who's 12 should be able to see me because they shouldn't be on Twitch. If he said 13-year-olds, I'd be like, well, yeah, if you're 13 and you're watching my stream and I'm smoking weed, but that's the internet. Do you have a ruler in your room? Please measure your forehead. I want to compare. You can't compare. You compare to what, Muffin? Compare to fucking what? Your forehead? I don't know, but we should read this commentary, right? In 20 to 30 years, there's nothing in that picture to indicate scale, so it's impossible to get a valid confirmation. I take that as a no. I mean, I have a ruler. What is it? Is it in here? Probably in here with all my writing stuff. I don't have... Apparently not in there. I might have one here somewhere. I did have one somewhere. Fuck if I know. I don't think there's anything in there. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I was wondering if he was considering to him or not. Like what his forehead is. I have no idea. It is what it is. They're using the same ruler tape, and the measurement can't be confirmed. Get close enough. I don't know. Anyways, in 20 to 30... Oh, let's make this big. Alright. Welcome to another video. Today we're talking about professional victims and crying wolf in social media and how taking advantage and exploiting kids is a huge market. What are your thoughts? Like, comment, subscribe. Let's get into it. In 20 to 30 years, I think the landscape of family-oriented social media content, particularly the exploitative kind you're describing, like staging fake illnesses, emotional manipulation, or outright cruelty disguised as pranks or relatable parenting, will evolve into something more regulated but still persuasive, rather than fully stabilizing or exploding unchecked into the dystopian free-for-all. It's unlikely to disappear entirely because the incentives, views, ad revenue, sponsorships, are too strong in a world where social media platforms continue to prioritize engagement algorithms that reward sensationalism. However, based on current trends, we'll probably see a hybrid, a multi-billion-dollar economy that's increasingly fenced in by laws, public backlash, and tech-driven safeguards, with severe punishments acting as a deterrent for the worst offenders. If you're not using... I'm gonna be back. Alright, sounds good. Right now, this issue is already a flashpoint. High-profile cases like the Daddy05 YouTube channel, where parents filmed abusive pranks on their kids for laughs, or the Ruby Frank scandal of the 8 passengers family vlog, where she was convicted of child abuse after years of exploiting her child's hardships online, highlight how these professional victims, or fame chasers, operate. Families like these often blur the line between genuine content and manufactured drama, turning kids into unwitting performers without consent or compensation. On X, formerly Twitter, users frequently call this out as straight-up child exploitation, with some arguing that all family vlogs inherently cross ethical lines by commodifying private lives. And you're spot on about the crying wolf dynamic. Some creators play the victim hard to deflect criticism, while others get caught in real abuse, making it hard to separate the two without scrutiny. Looking ahead, I predict a world where laws catch up aggressively, driven by advocacy from former child influencers like Cherie Frank, who testified to lawmakers about losing her childhood to vlogging, and growing awareness of long-term harms such as privacy loss, bullying, and psychological trauma. We're already seeing momentum. States like Illinois, Utah, and California have enacted protections since 2023-2024, requiring parents to set aside earnings and trust funds for kids featured in monetized content, limiting work hours and allowing minors to sue later for exploitation. By 2045-2055, this could expand to federal U.S. laws similar to the Coogan Law for child actors, or international standards under frameworks, like the UN Convention on the Rights of the Child, which calls the protections against online exploitation. Platforms might be forced to implement AI moderation to flag suspicious content, age-verified accounts for creators involving minors, or even revenue-sharing mandates. Severe punishments, fines, platform bans, or jail time, as in the Frank case, could indeed reduce blatant cruelty if enforced consistently, echoing how child labor laws curbed factory exploitation in the early 20th century. That said, the economy around it won't shrink. It'll adapt and grow. Influencer market is already a $21 billion industry today, with family content as a lucrative niche. Think sponsored day-in-the-life videos ranking in millions. In 20 to 30 years, as VR, AR, and AI deepen immersion, interactive family simulations, this could balloon to hundreds of billions, with ethical family creators thriving under regulations while underground or offshore exploiters persist. Public sentiment might shift too, more boycotts of exploitative channels as seen in calls on X to stop watching them. But dopamine-driven scrolling will keep demand high. Emerging threats like AI-generated child exploitation material could complicate things, pushing for even stricter global responses. Overall, it stabilizes somewhat. Laws will punish the wolves hard enough to thin the herd, but the allure of fame and fortune ensures a regulated billion-dollar beast remains. Society might view it like reality TV today, trashy but tolerated, with safeguards for the vulnerable. If we want real change, it starts with viewers voting with their attention and supporting reforms now. I think that's pretty good insight as to, like, pretty much what's going to happen. Although I think the companies are going to win out over safeguards, and it's just going to be a payout as it exclusively comes, and it's going to be more of a government payout than it is a platform payout, because currently platforms are not necessarily responsible for the content that's on them. So if there's child abuse on your content, on your platform, you're not held liable because you don't moderate the platform. It's kind of a big loophole people take advantage of. But yeah, that's another video down, guys. Like, comment, subscribe. What are your thoughts? Is this going in the right direction? Is there other information that I missed? Give me a comment down there, and we'll have a discussion over it. Anyways, thanks for hanging out, and until again we meet.